Hello, this is Stormtrooper Hulk Route, and I'm ready to battle. Okay, so you can see if I was being silly, but you can see that we're getting ready to talk about another war that happened in our country. Okay, okay, I'll get my Stormtrooper mask off. Okay, and so we're getting ready to talk about another war, and this war is different than the other wars we've talked about. This war is called a civil war, and a civil war is a war between the same country. Okay, it's between the same country. So the same country is fighting each other. So the United States people are going to be fighting each other. I know, right? So it started because the North and South are very different. And if you ever know, like if you have a friend or something that's very different from you, you might get into fights, or maybe it's hard to stay friends. Like when you get a little older, you might have a friend that gets interested in different activities than you. Like I had a friend that was really interested in cheerleading, and I was interested in band. And so, she would have her cheerleading friends and I would have my band friends. And sometimes, it would be hard to make sure that we had time to hang out. So the North and the South are so different. The North has a lot of industry now, a lot of factories, and they're big cities. They're more urban. Urban means city, and so they're all together, and they have immigrants coming in, but they pay them, and so it's a big, they have a lot of railroads and factories. And so down the South, it's more rural, more country. Rural means country, and it's more spread out. And they have large plantations where the slaves are working on plantations, and they have, more farms. So they're totally different. So sometimes differences can cause up fights. Well, the South was really worried because a lot of these new territories are coming in as states. California had a big gold rush, and they want to become a state, and other territories out in the West will have enough people to become a state. And so they're worried, and some of them don't want to have slavery. So the South is worried they're going to take away their rights to have slavery. And so they're starting to worry about this and think, if new states are coming as free states and slave states, and they're having all these disagreements. Well, there's going to be an election in 1860. And Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas are running against each other. And Abraham Lincoln has said that he doesn't think any new state should have slavery. Now, he didn't say to outlaw slavery yet, because he just knows that would be hard for the South economy, even though slavery is wrong. So the South says, if Abraham Lincoln is elected, we are leaving the United States. And everybody's like, what? Are they really going to secede? S-E-C-E-D-E means secede, which means to leave, to withdraw. And they say that, Abraham Lincoln's elected, we're gone. Well, Abraham Lincoln wins. And on December 20th, 1860, South Carolina voted to secede from the Union. So they're the first states that leave the United States. Then, by that February, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas left. Okay, and in total becomes 11. And they formed their own country called the Confederate States of America. And they even have their own president, Jefferson Davis. So now, guys, we really have two countries in our country. We have the United States of America, which they call the Union, and then they have the Confederate States of America, and so they're going to go to battle because the Union wants to bring the Confederate back into our country. So they go to battle. The first battle's at Fort Sumter, and they're fighting, and it's a very bloody war. We have families that split apart, like some brothers will go fight for the South, and some brothers will go fight for the North. This is a very, very bloody war. Okay, and it was all about the South wanting to make sure they had their states' rights in order to keep their slavery. Well, we're getting all these bad battles, and one of the bloodiest was called Antietam. and it was very bloody battle. And Abraham Lincoln was like, he was the president, and he was like, I've got to do something to stop this, okay? So he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, and it's a law that freed all the slaves in the South, and he wanted to give the Union troops something to fight for. So now they're fighting to end slavery, to abolish or end slavery. And so the Emancipation Proclamation ended slavery in the South. So now we get all these battles, all this going on, and so they have a couple more big battles. The one famous battle is the Battle of Gettysburg, and it's a very bloody battle. It's said to be short because they were looking for shoes, and both sides ran into each other. I've heard that. So the Battle of Gettysburg, very bloody battle, and Abraham Lincoln goes to the battle scene 2 weeks later, and he issues this Gettysburg Address, this speech. And this speech is only 2 minutes, but it's a very powerful speech. It's probably heard at the beginning where it says 407 years ago. And so this speech says he doesn't want these troops that died here to die in vain, that he doesn't want them to die for nothing. So he wants everybody to bring this country back together. Because you don't want all these people to die for nothing. We want to bring this great country back together, and that's what his speech says. So the war does come to an end in April 1865. Okay, so the war's over, they sign a treaty, and now they got to build our country back up, okay? And they have to bring it back up, and they end slavery. They add amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, where they abolish slavery, and they give the African Americans the right to vote and citizenship. So now we have ended slavery. We've got to bring our country, great country, back together. I hope you've enjoyed all these videos, and you all have a great summer, and I've enjoyed teaching you so much this year, and I miss you so much. I'll see ya. Bye.